So in this series, from the ground up, we've gone from the soles of the feet to the top of our head and out through our arms, and we've got to the grip last, which is a bit unusual because in the teaching sequence we do the posture first, followed by the grip. But when we do it this way, it's interesting to see the grip in the context of the swing and the whole movement, and the effect that the grip has on the wrist hinge and the forearm rotation, which in turn actually affects the way the body moves. I think if people were taught a good grip from day one, there wouldn't be a teaching industry. I think we'd all learn golf the way we learned table tennis and soccer. We just improvise. But the fact of the matter is, when people start off playing golf, they hold the club head incorrectly. That's what feels natural. But happily for me as a teaching pro, the whole teaching industry is required to fix you if your grip isn't good. Now, earlier you've heard me say, if you only remember one thing from me, the golden thing, the key to the golf swing, is the positioning of the left thumb on the club. So I tip from the hip, the left thumb is parallel but to the right of centre. Now it's so important because if that left thumb is correctly placed, I can show you wrist hinge from face on. This is how I cock my wrists. If I turn sideways to you, you can see me achieving 90 degrees between my forearm and my wrist. If the thumb were long by an inch, I would hinge to 135 degrees. Lots of ladies do that and they overswing. Okay, but you're not made with your thumb stuck out like that. That's a natural. You're made with your thumb hanging downwards. So the club falls into the palm of the hand, and there's the parallel thumb. Now, one of the most common faults in golf, particularly on male golfers, is the thumb pad can be quite good, but the thumb bone is diagonal strong. And this has all sorts of repercussions in the wrists and the forearms. And if the wrist and the forearms are corrupted, you'd be surprised, it'll actually damage your shoulder turn. So the more neutral the grip can be, the less resistance is going to be to a coil. The other one, it comes from stockier golfers or sometimes from ladies. The left hand comes in and the thumb, instead of being parallel, is diagonal but weak. And generally the club can go back this way, and at the top of the swing, this wrist is bowed. And it all came from a lack of a good grip. So, tip from the hip, left thumb parallel, matched right hand. If I show you the linkage of the hands, I could use 10 fingers, I could interlock, or I could overlap. But from the top, nothing changes. Okay, so let me show that again. There's my grip, it's pure. I can go 10 fingers, interlock, overlap, but nothing changed on top. The structure of the muscles remain neutral. Okay, so if I turn sideways to you, you can see that the strong grip could take you in here with a flat swing, club point across the top, and the club bowed. If the grip were weak, this way, I could go this way with the swing, upright, and in this position, it's very easy to get into a weak position at the top as well. So hopefully, if you hinge your wrist properly, which is thus, to 90 degrees, when you turn the shoulder, you're in plane. All right. Lots of people would say that's laid off. No, it's not a short swing. That would be laid off, that would be laid on. If the wrist cock is good and the shoulder turn is good, you end up in plane. So here we are in the horizontal plane with a good grip. The wrists hinge, the forearms rotate, and I turn, I'm in plane. But let's suppose I've got a diagonal strong thumb. I will overhinge and I'll hinge out of plane. And then when I turn, you can see the club is not in plane, it should be here. The other error is to have the salad dodger's thumb, which is weak and diagonal. You'll hinge in this plane with the wrist blowed. You'll be above the plane going back. So that's what the weak diagonal thumb does. Let's always go for the parallel thumb because the wrists, the forearms and the shoulders are going to behave. So that's enough of the theory. Let's see that with a golf shot. Okay, so I'm going to go with a diagonal strong and have a look what happens to the club at the top. It will be long in the wrist and the club would tend to go across the line. So I've got a diagonal strong thumb. Let's have a look what happens. And you can see that I paid the price of the diagonal thumb and the ball had hooked away low left and strong. Quite a dangerous shot. So that was the strong diagonal thumb. I'm going to go the weak diagonal thumb this time. What will happen is my hinge will be restricted. I'll be above plane, I'll probably be bowed, and it will make me fade the shot. So here we go. This is above plane, bowed. We'll probably have cut spin as well. See the ball work away, nothing like as powerful. Probably lost 2 clubs of distance. So, I always like to finish in a good one. Let's go back to a parallel left thumb. Correct grip. Now I don't have to think about it. The preparation, take care. Just load and release. Half a club long, but who's counting?